Hi, and welcome to the Board Games Maelstrom. I'm doing something for the first time here. I'm going to do a top 10 list of the games that I own. I don't really get to play a lot of games that I don't own. I'm probably the center of the gaming group here. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through my top 10. I'm going to start with some honorable mentions that kind of like just made it outside the top 10. I'm picking from a library of over 200 games, so it's not like I just own 12 games and this is my list. So let's start with some honorable mentions. The first one I would like to tell you about is The Resistance. Social deduction game. There's spies, there's intrigue. If my kids were picking this list, this would probably be higher on their list. It's a really great game. You can play this 5 to 10 players. You can get up to 10 players playing this game. So if you have a lot of people over at the house, good game. Honorable mention. Another honorable mention. My daughter loves this game. This isn't just for Codenames Duet, but this is for the whole iteration of Codenames. She loves playing Codenames. And again, this is an honorable mention because it would be higher on my list if she were involved in picking. But for now, this is an honorable mention. Another honorable mention, another game that my kids love. Catan. This is the granddaddy of them all. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't played it, and I'm sure if you've been in the gaming hobby at any length of time that you have, I've only been in the gaming hobby for 2.5 years maybe. So I actually didn't get to play this game until this summer at Origins, and man, we learned this and a lot of the other games, and boy, we had a lot of fun with it. But that is another honorable mention, Catan. I have another honorable mention. These are outside my top 10. Firefly, the game. A lot of fun, pick-up and delivery game. There's a ton of expansions. There's a huge map you can get that encompasses all the expansions, but this is a lot of fun. If you are at all a fan of the show, this is a must-have. My next honorable mention is another game that I picked up at Origins this year, and that is Near and Far. Another game, very kid-friendly. Kids love this game. Especially my daughter. Oh my goodness, she likes this game. So we try to get this to the table when we can. But the last honorable mention, Near and Far by Ryan Lockett. All right. For my number 10, it's a game that came out recently. It's the first time on my list, as all the games are, because I have made no list up until this point. But my number 10 is Ethnos. Ethnos is a area control set collection card game. A lot of fun. It's just as much fun with a few players as it is with a lot. It plays in 45 to 60 minutes, recommended 14 and up, and 2 to 4 players. It plays just as well, in my opinion, with 2 players as it does with 4. And that's my number 10, Ethnos. My number 9 is a game that I have the entire series of. They're a lot of fun. They were one of my, in fact it was, I believe, one of the first games that got me into the hobby. A friend of mine said, hey, you got to check out this zombie game. It's a game that you can even play by yourself because the zombies move according to their own rules, so you don't even have to have anybody playing the zombies. They do their thing every turn, regardless of if you're playing them or not. So, my number 9 is Zombicide Black Plague. one of the many zombie games or zombie side games that I have. Black Plague is just the latest iteration, the most streamlined, the cleanest. It's got little dashboards for your guys. I recently got another Kickstarter that I backed called Massive Darkness. I haven't played it yet. I've been painting, so I haven't played it yet, so I can't really give that a review or let you know where it's going to be on the list. But this is my number 9, Zombicide, the whole series. My number 8 is a brand new game. Just came out back in July and August, somewhere around that time. It was one of the games that I picked up first thing when I saw it. I saw some things on it, and I got real excited about this game because it looked cool. The storage system that they give you in the box is pretty awesome. I don't see many games that do that. Many games that have that storage solution, but this one does. And that game is Wasteland Express. This game is 2 to 5 players. It takes 90 to 120 minutes to play. It's a lot of fun. Wasteland Express is by Pandasaurus Games. This was a game that I just had to have when I heard about it and saw it, and I've been actually looking at this game for a really long time, and it just came out this summer. I've been looking at this game since I saw it. I think they showed a preview of this back at Origins in 16, but this is my number 8, Wasteland Express. Alright, my number 7 game is a 2-player game. It's with one of the largest licenses in the world. There's a ton of games by this license, and some of them are good, some of them aren't so good. This happens to be a good one. The first time I played it with a friend, we learned the game and played it, and I swear we were at it for 7 hours. We didn't get done until like 4 in the morning. And that game, my number 7, is Sideways. Star Wars Rebellion. Great 2-player game. This is just like, if you want to feel like you're in Star Wars, feel like you're playing Star Wars, this is the game to get. It's a great game, and it's a great 2-player experience. It takes a little long. I wouldn't want it to be any more than 2 players. This is by Fantasy Flight Games, and as usual, their storage solution for this is terrible. That they give you a box with an insert, and that's it. And once you've unpacked the game, it does you no good whatsoever. Probably very soon I'm going to get Zenbins produces a great plastic insert for this, and I'll probably go ahead and get that because it's one of the cheaper storage solutions. But my number 7, Star Wars Rebellion. My number 6 won Game of the Year this past year at Origins, the Origins Awards at Origins Game Fair in Columbus, Ohio, which is pretty close to where I live, about 3 hours away. So that is definitely a game convention I will be covering pretty much every year. It won Game of the Year. It's a lot of fun. I went out and got the big board add-on for it so that we could play it on, and it barely fits on our living room table, and that's why I'm having a gaming table built for me right this second. My number 6 is Scythe. Great game. It's the artwork on this is amazing. It's pretty awesome. I can't wait until there's a new app that's getting funded out on Indiegogo right now called Dives, which is a game thing that teaches you the game, and I saw a little bit of a tutorial on using Scythe as an example, and this is by Stonemaier Games, produced by Jamie Stegmaier, and this game, the tutorial in it it actually, you type in the number of the card and it reads you the card with some like music and stuff. So I think that's going to be a pretty cool addition if you're just learning the game. So my number 5, Scythe. Is one that I've had for a little while. I recently backed the Kickstarter and got the expansions to go with this game. It ramps the game up to a whole new level. I wouldn't play without these expansions anymore. This is a game both me and my daughter love, and that game is Champions of Midgard. This is the Kickstarter box that it comes in, but this is the game, Champions of Midgard, and it comes with both the expansions, the Dark Mansions and Valhalla. This is my number 4 for a good reason. You get a lot of replayability out of it with the new expansions. It just ramps the game up. It makes it just crazy with the amount of points you can get. And this is a worker placement game. It's a ton of fun. If this is one that you haven't checked out yet, by all means, please go check this out. That is the Champions of Midgard and the expansions, the Dark Mountains and Valhalla. All right. My number 3 is a game this is one of the first games I started playing. This is one of the games that introduced me to the deck builder. And I love this game. I have all the expansions. The only trouble in my house is I can't get it to the table enough because a lot of people aren't big fans of this type of deck builder. But my number 3 is Legendary Marvel. I'm going to represent it with X-Men expansion that I got at Origins this year. But this encompasses the entire Legendary set. The main Legendary. It's a great deck building game. You're fighting against villains. There's different scenarios. I must have a ton of scenarios by now. They have different sets, like they have a Civil War set. They have a Secret War set. They have the X-Men that I'm showing you right here. There's Spider-Man. There's Deadpool. Fantastic Four is back in print. That was out of print for a little while. But this is made by Upper Deck, and it is just an amazing game. It's a lot of fun. If you want the ultimate deck building experience, this is by far, at least in my humble opinion, the way to go. That is the Legendary Marvel series. Alright, my number 2 was probably the second game I purchased ever when I got into the hobby. And it's a game that we love. We've played a ton of it. One of the other things that got me into the hobby was the painting of miniatures. I love to paint miniatures. So my number 2 is going to be a game with lots of miniatures. Very Amerithrashy game, and that game is Shadows of Brimstone. Now, some people are saying, there's a ton of better games out there than that. I'm like, yeah, well, there may be. But I love dungeon crawls, and this is one of the best I've found so far. It's very interesting. It combines a couple of my favorite genres, Western and horror. And if you get some of the expansions, there's some sci-fi mixed in. It's a lot of fun. I have most of the expansions. We've been playing through a campaign on some Saturdays in my game group, and boy, this is just a lot of fun. And there's a ton of miniatures, and I love to paint, and so this is keeping me busy. Yeah, so this is a game that the whole family loves. It's pretty cool. Some of the models are a little creepy, a little scary, but that's all right because we can take it. This is horror western, just one of my favorite games that I've played. Now for my number 1. My number one game came out early last year. Ever since I've gotten it, I love playing this game. Had put it away for a while. Just got it out the other day, and some friends came over, and I taught them how to play it. And it's a game that's app driven, lots of minis, so that's something that I like. I actually went and bought a wooden insert for this game because there's so much stuff involved in this game. But my number one game of all the games that I own, Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. Beautifully constructed game. The tiles are gorgeous. There's new scenarios. I just got like the 2nd or 3rd expansion. They put the expansions out from the Mansions of Madness 1st Edition in 2nd Edition format so that you could play those, and they included them in the app. And this takes out all the guesswork for you. It controls the monsters. It controls the events, the investigator phase. You guys take your turn. And then when you're done, it tells you what happens in the mythos phase. Mostly bad stuff. But if you like miniatures, if you like, this is a type of dungeon crawl. I wouldn't consider it like a complete dungeon crawl, but it's very similar. If you like that type of game, you absolutely would have to get Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition. Thanks for joining me for my very first top 10 here at the Board Games Maelstrom. And I'll probably try and make this a yearly thing, top 10 games that I own. If I start getting out and playing some games that I don't own, that maybe make my top 10, that I don't get a chance to buy right away, then I'll probably have games that are just like a pure top 10 that aren't even on the shelves in my house. But I hope you all enjoyed this production. If you did, please like, subscribe. I need more subscribers. Like and subscribe down below. And I very much appreciate you guys taking some of your time out of your day to watch one man's opinion of the best games that he owns. And I just want to say thanks for stopping by.